Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life.
Hey, this is Ann. Welcome back to Sage Sisters.
And this is Kate. What up, Tan Ann? How you doing?
I am doing pretty good, I will say. We just went, well, I'll kind of tease the topic right now, but we just went on a family vacation over the weekend, a short drive trip somewhere for 2 days. It was delightful. We went to a friend's lake house, but I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from the little travel, and it kind of sparked what I wanted to talk about today in the topic, which is when you're traveling with kids, sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation.
Oh, yeah.
And I have 3 takeaways that I would love to talk with you in a deeper dive about, which
I'm
is
excited.
How to make your kids more grateful in the moment for these new experiences.
Yeah.
Which has come up with user questions before. So I wanted to kind of dive into that more. Number 2, how do you discipline your kids? Is it different when you're traveling with other families or when you're in public? You know, when they're acting out.
A public discipline.
Public discipline. And then the last one is, we've talked about this. When you're traveling, we are very open to technology usage to help you out a little bit, like a little bit more iPad in those like actual travel driving moments or flying. How do you kind of reel in they always are asking for new games, new apps, different things come up, and I have it under control at home, but it feels like it gets away from you a little bit at travel. So I wanted to kind of talk about those 3 things.
They get exposed to things that were kind of outside of their bubble when they're with other kids. So yeah, I think that's a great topic. I'm also coming off a weekend getaway, so it's actually perfect. And we haven't caught up yet. So this will be fun. I can't wait to hear all about it.
I love it. So I am, after 10 hours of sleep last night, feeling much better, but still tired. So I think it'll be a perfect time to discuss this.
Okay. You know, if you're still tired after 10 hours of sleep, it was a doozy.
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. So I don't know if your lake trip is going to be a high or a low, but what is your high?
Well, it was a high. So we went with 2 friends of mine and their families, and it was not far, 3.5 hour drive, not far, lake house.
Was this the like kind of newer group of friends? This wasn't your neighborhood crew, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's 2 moms I'm getting closer with now. So it was just such a great experience overall. So nothing about the topic today is a negative to the experience we had and the families we went with. It was awesome. I was so grateful to be invited to a friend's lake house. We don't get that lake house experience very often, so it was new for our kids. So that was kind of the high for me. Is this a new experience, being on a boat, doing different fun activities that we don't normally do?
Yeah.
Such a high. It was great. And I love getting to know people even more. And it feels like when you do a trip with them, you kind of dive into different topics and just hanging out with them more. So
there's no better way to punch a friendship all the way through than like I usually say like shared experience, but like a lake house weekend is a real experience.
It was great. So the new experiences and the friendships was such a high for me. So I loved it. What about you?
I saw some of your pictures on the shared album. I didn't get the voiceover, but their house looked sick.
It was great. It was such a nice house. I mean, just looking over a lake in the morning, sipping coffee is great. They had a boat. So we did like boat activities. So the kids got pulled in a raft and different things. And that's, we'll get into that a little bit more with my anxiety and my low. But the just experience of it all and the house and the accommodations, it was awesome. It was great.
Pulled in a raft, also known as tubing. Is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly.
All right, I love it.
What's your high?
My hoe was similar.
Your hoe?
My hoe. Hello.
Jalo.
Hold on, let me get a little more coffee on the gullet. My high was Tahoe. Did you see where?
There it is. I see what happened.
There it is.
Okay.
You see yeah. I took Thursday and Friday off work. We took the kids up. Chris's cousin. We're very close to them, and we try to do something with them every summer. And so we met them in Tahoe, got an Airbnb near Kings Beach, which is sort of like North Lake Tahoe. We needed like a nature weekend. Also, it was going to be hot here. There was another like double swim meet day. I'm like, I'm out. So it was great. I felt like we got out of Dodge. It felt like a real vacation for the kids.
Yeah.
Tahoe is freakishly beautiful. The water insanely blue, like
I've never
mountains.
been. I've heard, and it just looks glorious in your pictures and other pictures I've seen. It's
Oh,
nice.
it's just like, just the air smells different.
Yeah.
So the only like rub sometimes with Tahoe is like getting to and from where it can
Well,
be like quite a bit of traffic, but we didn't even have too bad of an experience there.
that's great. I think the reason I haven't been is a couple reasons, but like it's just not easy to get to from where we
True.
are. You know, you
Yeah.
kind of live in Northern California where you can get over there a little bit easier and it's still not great all the time. Like to
Mhm.
actually fly in and then have to drive long distance to get there is a little bit more challenging, but
Well,
it's
and the
just
traffic,
probably worth
these
it.
roads are not honestly built for the amount of traffic they get. So like if you
Mhm.
go and you don't hit traffic from the Bay Area, it could be 3 hours.
Yeah.
You go and you hit traffic, and the traffic in the winter can be because roads are snowy. In the summer, it can be road construction or a wreck or whatever. But it's like I was talking to someone on Friday, and it took them 8 hours to get up there from San Francisco, and I'm
Oh,
like,
that's a
woof,
long time. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
And
long
there was
time.
just shitty traffic. So
Yeah.
that's the low, but it was awesome. We went out on a boat. We went to this like very cool zip lining treetops. It was your nightmare.
Yeah.
I was like letting Calvin and Grace jump from high platforms, and I was thinking of you.
Yeah.
But I they just loved it. They were smiling the whole dang weekend. And
Mhm.
seeing them so happy, and honestly, Calvin's had anxiety, and like I think Calvin of a year ago would have been scared by tubing, definitely would have been scared by the zip lines, definitely would have been scared to like swim out in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And just to see him sort of like be a little nervous and then do it, and then be a little nervous and do it and
Mhm.
enjoy it, I was just like, God, that was my real high, was like watching Calvin do all these adventurous things in Tahoe. It was like, God, it just like fueled my soul.
It's so funny how our life lined up, which is like why this topic is perfect right now. Because
Yeah.
we kind of had a similar weekend in different locations. And that's exactly right. These new experiences for my kids and seeing the joy on their face is
Yeah.
awesome. Now, it leads me to my low, which you teed up perfectly, which
Okay.
is more of a rhetorical question. Please don't answer it. Where did my adventurous side go? Like, I want to know because I always was adventurous. Like, I always had a little bit of reservation around heights, let's say, or something, but like I still did it. I would hike to the top of a mountain. I would be a little adventurous and do something I wasn't supposed to. Like I would always
I don't remember
be,
you having a heights thing. And
I
I
didn't,
remember you having an open water ocean thing.
yes. Water is, we've talked about it a lot. Like I've never been comfortable. We didn't grow up around it. So maybe that's
Yeah.
part of it.
That's what
So I'm
Indiana
not
will
as
get you.
confident with it,
Yeah.
but I just used to be a more chill, fun person. And I feel like I still am fun. Like I would like to pull the people I went with this weekend just to see how fun I was and just see what happens.
I'll be doing
Sometimes,
some side
yeah.
surveys. Well,
But like,
motherhood. I mean, is that the
it's
most obvious?
motherhood. Yes. It's like I don't like heights anymore because I don't want my kids to go up on a height because I've
Mm-hmm.
just pictured the worst happening. Same with the boat. So like tubing, thank you. I've said otherwise known as rafting behind
Pulling
a
a
boat,
raft.
pulling a raft behind a boat with a string. Um, they could not have had more fun, my two older
Mm-hmm.
ones. My anxiety was out of this world. And I was
Oh, I believe
literally
it.
trying to smile and make it like, oh, it's so
Oh,
fun.
I'm a
And
cool
like,
mom. Oh, I'm totally
yeah.
comfortable with your new
And
friends.
like my friend Jen was like giggling at me and she was like, cause she's more comfortable with it. And she's like, you'll get there. They were very nice to me in that moment. And Phil, I just kept looking over at him, kind of
And I
laughing
can
at
just
me.
see him being so like, oh,
Well,
creature
and
of comfort or whatever.
100%. And the second they would flip up on the raft, I hugged Lily tighter. Phil was just like, get a grip. But, you know, I let him do it. I let it happen. It's just my
Mm-hmm.
enjoyment was not until we got back. And then I
Did
was like looking
you
back at the experience saying, great.
did you medicate with any alcohol?
Not really. I mean, we did drink over the weekend, but it wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
doing enough, I guess.
Well, I saw your photo. I haven't talked to you about this, but your tube had a back on it, which seems
Yeah.
so much safer than what we were working with, which was like a no back on your belly, holding on to two handles.
Well, I
And
think
yeah,
it's all,
I skipped those kids. Well, Chris was driving, and
okay.
I was like comfortable when they were like sort of within the wake, and then they would go outside the wake. And again, there were just a couple bad tumbles where they would like skid like rocks.
Terrible. Yeah. So you have a little bit of the nervousness when they're doing something extreme like that.
Well, like compared to my own, like out there, I'm like borderline adrenaline junkie, I would say. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way I like to travel is like I like to skydive. I like to climb mountains. I really love the zip line experience. Like
It's like you and I could not be more polar opposites this
in
at
so
this
many
stage
ways,
of
but
life. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
For me, that, oh God, and then doing it is just such a thrill. It's like such a high. So for myself, no anxiety, especially tubing, no big deal. But I do feel different with my kids.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to repeat to myself, like, this is something you enjoy. Like, don't take it away from them. Like, let them decide for themselves. You don't have to push it. Like Calvin, I think, has a different threshold than Grace for sure when it comes to heights, risk. So he tubed, but he got tossed like a little stone across the lake a couple times, flying off that thing, and he was done. And that's fine. And I told him, I'm so proud of you for trying it. You did great. And the thing is, he loved it. There were just a couple moments, but he even came back and the first thing he told someone was like, oh, I went tubing for the first time. And like, he was very proud of himself. So I have to remember, it's like,
it's a
were there
confidence
some tears?
builder.
Yes, but it definitely, I think, built confidence.
Well, it builds confidence. I loved them having this experience. And I truly was trying not to give off any kind of nervous, negative energy because I wanted them to make their own decision on it. And, Ace it's so funny, his personality to me, because he is extreme sports. He's extreme, like out, he's like very outgoing. He's always doing something outside. But he is more of my reserved one. When we talk about like roller coasters, when we talk about this, he was nervous. And the first time he went out, he didn't love it. Like Lola was giggling, smile from ear to ear. It took her a second to get used to it. But then when she was there in it, she loved it. Ace liked it a little bit more each time he went. But it was still that, like, you could see it in his eyes and the grip. He was a little more like me. And I was like, I don't want to have him be like that because I remember as a child doing those things and really having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a kid, I don't remember any reservation from you on that stuff. In fact, the other way, I would have probably described you as like wild child.
Yeah. The one you have to reel in. Like in Hawaii, I ran across under the bar to get to the other side of a mountain illegally, and parents almost lost their minds. Like I remember that's why my low is like, what happened? What happened to me? Is it going to come back? Am I going to be cool again? Like
motherhood, baby. I don't know if when the kids get old enough and you feel like they are safe and going to make decent choices, but it's like, do kids ever make decent choices, or is this?
I've talked to many mom friends of mine that have older kids who say,
what do they say?
It doesn't get easier with that because I know.
Well, then they're driving. Then they're
your ability to control the environment gets less and less as they're older, which almost makes it like worse. It's like, you don't want to be the one that's calling them all the time when they're in college, but you're worried about them just as much as you would be if they were living under your own roof.
Totally.
So it almost makes it like, ugh.
It is real though. Like I think I told you when we were at the fair and Grace went on that ride, it was the first time I had a panic attack.
Yes.
I have never had that life experience in my entire lived existence of 42 years where I like couldn't catch my, I was like short of breath. I was like, like I couldn't look. Cal's rubbing my back. Like I let her go on this ride that I hadn't seen go around it, because it wasn't that crowded. And when she got on it, it went way higher than I expected. I didn't feel comfortable with like how the harness was on her body. Anyways,
what a bad feeling.
What a horrible feeling. So it's like motherhood does give you that, but it's like, gosh, we got to find this balance though of not being so safetyism and like putting them in a bubble.
Totally.
So I'm proud of you for fighting through it. I'm proud of you for fighting through it.
I fought through it. I really tried hard. Did I succeed with them not knowing I was anxious? No, not fully, but like I did my best, and I just think because it's not going to go away, I need to continue to come up with coping mechanisms in those moments. And it's like, look, I'm never going to be the one that's going to let them do something so extreme. I'm just not. But like this is good for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to also be there in those moments. Like the easier thing is I could have stayed with Lily at the house and not gone because then I don't have to have that anxiety. But it's like,
Exposure.
that's not what I want either. I want to be a part of these things with them.
Yeah. I also think therapy.
Well,
There was like a comedy show or something that's like, it was an album. I'll do anything but therapy.
yeah. Listen, again, I stand on this. I think therapy's great. I think a lot of people do it and are good for it. I just haven't really done it before. And my therapy is talking to you and Phil. You
And
guys
we're
are my
untrained.
therapists.
We're
Untrained
untrained for
therapist.
your deep-seated anxiety. But I am proud of you for letting them do it. That's cool.
Did you say your low, by the way? Was it built into that? I just kind of went off on a tangent. Or do you have a different low?
Chris got sick was my low.
Oh.
Timing was really frustrating for him. I know he was like so excited about this weekend. He is such a water baby, like wanted to be in Lake Tahoe the whole time. And I thought the incubation window was long enough because Grace and I had it the previous weekend and he didn't get it all week. And we were like, oh, good. We're like out of the clear. And then Friday night, he had like a horrible fever. Saturday morning, he woke up feeling terrible. Oh. So he stayed at home all Saturday.
Oh, that stinks.
I know. So it was just, you can't plan these things. They hit when they hit. But I felt bad for him, honestly. And I think, the kids would have loved for him to be there to do all this stuff. It did force me into doing things a little bit more than I'm comfortable with because I don't like cold water, really. Tahoe, beautiful, freezing.
Yeah. Not a
freezing.
selling point for me. Not a selling point.
I agree. And we went to this beach on Saturday and really there wasn't much beach. It was these huge boulders. The beach line was like very thin. So basically you get in the water and you climb over these rocks and like the climbing over the rocks actually ended up being a real adventure in and of itself. We really, you would have again had an absolute heart attack as they were basically canyoning.
That's awful.
And then you get to this place and the only way back is to like swim maybe a couple 100 yards. And again, my kids are good swimmers. But Grace just took off no problem. And Cal got nervous and then wanted to be on my back. And I am not that good of a swimmer. So Cal on my back, he weighs more than 60 pounds. It was the workout of a lifetime. I got back to the shore. I acted like I had ran a marathon. Honestly, I had to dig deep for that, this is one of those mom moments where you dig and you do this. And then I was just like, God damn it, Chris is sick. You could have done this in a jiffy. And
well, I mean, it's like, they say if your baby's in trouble, you could lift a car with your mom, energy or whatever. It's like that would have had to be me in that situation too. I'm a terrible swimmer. I can only imagine.
This I'd be doggy paddling. Yeah. I was doggy. I had to stop and say, Cal, we got to float on our back. I got to recharge. I couldn't. I was physically exhausted. So, anyways, I just pushed myself outside of my own comfort zone to do a few things because Chris was sick.
Yeah.
But anyways, the whole weekend was just a delight. Really, truly.
Yeah, I do feel blessed to be able to do a trip like this. I'm none of this negative conversation about anxiety or whatever takes away from how cool it was to be able to do the lake and to do the water sports and things. I loved it.
Hashtag nature. Am I right? It's I don't know.
Yeah.
You get in your suburban life or your city life and, you're busy and you're doing all this stuff, but taking a breather for a couple days to get up to the mountains or get to a lake is oof, gotta
it's
peaceful.
Put
some dirt in your toes. Put some dirt in your toes.
It's peaceful when you're not on the water for me. So the sitting outside with a coffee overlooking the water. Oh my gosh, so peaceful. The kids are inside we did Monopoly this weekend. That was cute. Yeah. Board games, at night having cocktails with the parents as the kids are going to bed. It was so that part of it thrived. Loved it. Yeah. The best. Yeah. It's just the in between that I'm not comfortable with. And listen, if we get an opportunity to continue to do it, the more I do it, I'll probably be better. But it's just
Well, and Lily's still little too. I keep thinking for you, when your youngest is 6, to me, it just changes the energy a little bit. You still have to have head on a swivel with her. She's not that self-sufficient yet.
Yeah,
Did
totally.
you let her tube or absolutely not?
No, Phil was
Yeah.
like, well, we don't even have to push the gas. She could sit on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not happening. Like, I had a hard line. I was like, there are some things I'm comfortable with. That is not it. And
Yeah,
like,
we're
whether you
past the
disagree
line.
with me or not, that was not going to happen this weekend. So,
Well, one thing that's fun about like an Airbnb or a lake house is like sometimes there's games there that you don't have, and you just kind of say, well, what do they have? So, anyways, this lake house had Clue. Do you remember the game
oh,
Clue?
my friend, shout out to Melissa, is obsessed with Clue. And every time we get together with her family, she tries to like pull out Clue. It's like she carries it around with her. It's like, no one wants to do Clue right now.
I did, Melissa, call me.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Now, it was a little bit questionable parenting as my 6-year-old is like, Colonel Mustard killed so-and-so with a candlestick. It's like just a light murder game with your children, but it's really
exactly.
cute. They understood it. It was like, they had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we got into Clue, played a couple rounds of that, which was great. Chris and I pre-kids used to play a lot of cribbage and just have it. And then at the cabin, we kind of fell back into it and like, man, I love cribbage. It was so fun.
Board games is a delight. And like we do a good amount of games around here, but you're right. It's different games. It's different. And you had brought up Monopoly before that your kids are doing it. And I'm going to have to ask you how you did a shorter version because this was a very long game. I was getting Monopoly fatigue at the end, but it was the kids understood it. They were having fun. We were having fun. We took a pause and then like did other things and then came back to the game.
Well, the too long didn't read is you change the rules where you don't have to own the same all 3 colors to put hotels on.
Okay.
And start doing hotels very early.
And then you quickly go through your money.
Mm-hmm. And you even could start with a bunch of properties. So like one version, we all started with 4 properties that we owned at random.
Yeah.
And then if you land on it again, you can immediately build a hotel, even if you don't own the whole
all of it.
Color. Okay. It speeds it up and people run out of money much quicker. And that's what I need. Good. I need a 30 to 60 minute game tops. Monopoly, like left to its own devices, is multiple hours.
It was a long time. We started in the morning around breakfast, played it for a few hours, went out to the boat, came back and finished the game afterwards. It was long.
But I liked the idea of like, Grace landing on Calvin's and him demanding rent. I was like, this I like. This is fun.
I started to get to the end though where, like Ace actually won, which was really good. But when he would get low on cash, I felt almost bad for him. I don't know why. I was like, should I give him some money? Like, I didn't. I would have beat him, but he
way
came back.
To fight your instincts. You're turning into mom. I just want them all to have fun.
I know.
Having kids learn to lose is so good for them.
I know. All right, let's move on to a new segment that we wanted to put in here, which is I've been really having fun with a lot of those smorgasbord ones we've been doing, our hot topics. Yeah. So I just thought it would be fun to add a segment that's like what's on our mind, a quick hit, and then move into
jam any random thing into this podcast with on my mind.
I love it. So what's on my mind this week?
Let's hear it.
Is the incident at the Coldplay concert that everybody's talking about with the CEO and the head of HR, the affair seen around the world. I mean, it is so crazy that this has taken a life of its own. Like, it is everywhere. You can't open your feed to not see it. All of the reenactments at all of the games across the country and even around the world, like, insane. I wanted your take on it because I can't look away.
You know here's what I'll say about it. Here's my initial reaction. You could see how it happened. Like, just like the cringe of it, the surprise of it, the like, oh my God, we're caught of it.
Yeah.
Play out in real time.
And that's why everybody can't stop looking.
Well, and I think even he said either they're shy or they're having an affair. It's like he nailed it.
He nailed it in real time.
And then I think there's this juicy, dark underbelly of it, which is like we're at this moment of time with these crazy executives. Now, this poor guy, I don't know if he's a good or bad executive. I'm sure people are like coming out on all sides of it. And like, to me, it's irrelevant. But it is this proletariat kind of anti-executive let's knock people off their pedestals. They're getting things
Yeah.
they don't deserve. Executive compensation is so unhinged right now relative to like
Mm-hmm.
the salaries of the team. It's like broadly, and I have no idea about this specific company and their compensation,
Right.
but my point is like it's an easy point in the history of time to hate executives.
Yeah. But like
And
also when you're having that public of an affair, and I'm not saying that they wanted to go on screen, but there were people surrounding them within the company. It was not like they were hiding that affair with people in that it looked like they were in a suite of some kind. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
it it was like you're not I think that you should have an affair? No. Do I think that like the life that this is taking, I actually think whatever these people chose to have an affair, that's ick for me. I feel horrible for the other side of this, which we're not seeing a ton of, but people are still
totally.
doing research, which is the family and the kids behind the scenes, and none of us know the story. None of us
And I
know.
did, my immediately thought was like, oh God, like the wife, the husband, the kids, like they're gonna
Oh,
just be dragged through this.
and can you imagine, like you're faced with your husband having an affair? Let's go with his side first.
Okay.
And it's so public, it's almost like you can't make the choice for yourself. Like, can we move past this? Is this something that like it's almost like it's so embarrassing in public.
No,
It's like
it's not. It's the same.
you think, I think it's like almost like divorce is like imminent, and maybe that was always the case, but it's just like, oh, it's so public, it's so uncomfortable for her. I feel so awful.
It reminded me too. A couple years ago, I went to like a Dave Chappelle comedy show, and um, who was he with? Chris Rock, I think. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle did a show, and I forget which one of them. I think it was actually Chris Rock. Now that I'm thinking about it, had like this whole stand up bit on like affairs, and like
Mm,
the gist of it was like everybody has affairs,
gross.
and I have to say there was nothing less funny in the
Yeah,
whole world. I was just like, is everybody laughing at this? Like, is this like, aha, everyone has affairs? Like,
yeah,
nothing seems more painful. Nothing seems more like ick and
I
dark
agree.
and gross. And like, I don't know, like, am I in a bubble? And like, did we grow up a little too healthy where I'm like repulsed by affairs?
I know. It does just feel like this should not be like accepted. Like it should not be something that's like, oh
It
yeah,
should
no,
not
it's
be a
just
stand up bit. Ha ha ha. And like, even on this, like, them getting caught at Coldplay, and like the funniest tweet I saw was like, "This is the whitest thing I've ever seen in my life," and I was like, "It really is." But it's like I don't want to get to a world where we're normalizing affairs.
I agree. I agree. And
And
there's like
maybe
both
it's like I've
sides in the
had friends
comments.
who I mean, I am at the life stage where I've had a few friends go through, where their partner cheated on them, and it's like so effing dark and painful.
Heartbreaking.
It's
Yeah, it's
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. Yeah, you don't wish that
And
on
I'm
anyone.
No, I really don't. I really don't. So I don't know. Maybe it makes me a prude, but I'm on team like we're not normalizing this. People from their company that were there and complicit with it. It's like, nah, I'm not here for
Yeah,
that. I'm
I
not here
agree.
for like complicit affairs. I'm out.
I agree. And it's like, I think that's why it is like it's taken a life of its own. And I almost want it to stop for the people on the behind the scenes. It's like,
Well, and even this, it's going to get unhinged from reality. It's like those reality stars. They go on, they act
mm-hmm,
horrible, and then
mm-hmm,
they come home and they get like death threats. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm sure these people are getting like such
right,
heat. I mean, he
right.
resigned already.
He
She
resigned.
probably she probably did too. I didn't see,
Yeah.
but
I think I saw that she did, but I'm not 100% confident. But yeah, it's like they both are probably going to resign. They're going to lose their jobs over this. They're going to lose so much. The mental health of it all is like, you don't want this has got to rock them. It's like, you know what I mean? Like just they're not used to this kind of scrutiny and so public. It's like it's going to be awful for them too. It's almost like I want it to stop now. But the reaction in real time, I think, is why it's snowballed. It's like you're right. You're looking at two people who didn't expect it, who got caught in real time and called out in a way that was so public. It was almost unbelievable. That's like a movie. You can't write that differently.
you
You know what
can't
I
write
mean?
that. Well,
So
and honestly, had they not reacted like that and like hid their face and ducked, no one would have
no one would
known.
know. No one would know.
I
I
mean,
did see
somebody might have seen it and like said something still, but like it would not have been.
it
Would not
wouldn't
have
have been what
this.
it is. It would have been like
Mm-mm.
one person seeing it and being like, oof, what was that? I did see a couple funny things. Again, the internet can be funny. Again, it's on
Oh, yeah.
people's, on
Expense.
unfortunately these individuals' expenses. But like, it was like how you should react if you get caught having an affair on a jumbotron. And like just
What
like
was it?
it was just, it's like the person, the guy was hugging her from behind. So then it was like him turning into the Heimlich, like trying to pretend she was choking, and then it was like another one was like pretend that it was like a bee swat. They had like all these different versions of how they could have reacted to make it feel more like not what was happening. And I just
The Heimlich
it
is
made me
funny.
laugh. The
The
Heimlich one
Heimlich
made me
is
laugh. And it was, oh, anyways. All right, let's
yeah.
move on to the topic because
Okay.
like
Yes.
we could talk about that one for a while. Back to it. Vacation from a vacation. 3 takeaways. Let's start
Mhm.
with how do you deal with kids in the moment of trying to get them to be grateful for these experiences that they get, which is like such a blessing, right? No matter what it is. Traveling anywhere, doing anything with them is an experience. How
Mhm.
can you, and kids aren't always grateful in the moment.
Yeah.
How,
Well, this was
how
a
do you
listener
navigate
question.
that?
This was a listener question from before also. So it's like, obviously, we're not the only ones who, you do all this effort, you pay all this money, you do all this time off work, and then you get
Right.
there and they're bitching about something. It's like,
Totally.
and
It's
it's,
unfortunate.
I know. Well, and even ours, it's like they didn't want to leave. They wanted one more day. They were upset that we left.
Mhm.
They wanted to go kayaking and we didn't have time to jam it in between the boat ride, the zip lining, the bouldering. It's like, we did plenty.
Right.
But, there was always, whether it was kayaking or something else, it was always going to be something else.
Totally. Yeah. So how do you
And
navigate it? Do you try to talk to them in the moment? With it's good kids having these reactions. And it's
well, first of all,
just,
they're kids, right?
yeah, right.
They're not fully developed brains that can comprehend the sacrifices that parents are making,
Right.
both time and money. I
Mhm.
think it's real easy for parents to go, I did this, I did this, I did this. And it's like, these kids don't even deeply understand the concept of money at
Right.
6 or 8.
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
slowly trying to get them to understand how much things cost,
Right.
and like what it takes to earn money, and
Mhm.
then talk to them about like how much money we spend on them as a show
Mhm.
of love, but also as a show of like, it's a lot. And like, this is
Yeah.
just something that we have to factor in. And like,
Right.
there's a reason we're not taking a gajillion international trips with you. It's
Mhm.
crazy expensive.
Right.
That doesn't mean I
Mhm.
don't want to take you to Paris. It means a trip to Paris is an extreme luxury,
Right.
but it's like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to coach. But again,
Right.
I'm having some success, I think, with these conversations with my daughter, who's 9 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, 6 is too early. So again, I think part of it is just like they have no concept of money.
Well, and it's small things that set them off, right? It's like
Yeah.
my daughter who was struggling a little bit this weekend had a blast, but she thought she was too old, I guess, for the life jacket, which is a standard safety thing.
Mhm.
And that just set her off a little bit. And it was
Mhm.
like, it just appeared she was more ungrateful and she was like kind of, acting out a little bit in those moments where it's like, this is not, and I didn't want to ruin the moment, especially when
Yeah.
we're with other people. It's like, how do I stop this? How do I tried to pull her aside and have a conversation. I tried to be like, look, it's not my rules, it's safety rules. Like, this is just what, if you want to do these fun things, this comes with it. And again, it could be anything. That was my example. But like,
Well, but that's a classic one, which is like, I want to do it myself, or
yeah,
like, I don't want this, or,
right,
don't help me.
right,
So I think part of it is just like recalibrating
right.
ourselves to be like, it's
Mm-hmm.
normal. It's normal that she wants this, and like not feel embarrassed about it, or,
Yeah. And do you in the moment, like, we'll get to the discipline, I guess, but do you in the moment try to like have them take a pause and understand that they're being ungrateful in the moment? Like, or do you just try to have a conversation later on after? Because again, you don't want to ruin the experience. I don't want to bring too much attention to it because I didn't want to ruin the whole day. But then I felt like I was being too soft on the situation that was driving me nuts, which is like, just be in the moment, be grateful, have fun, understand that you're doing something that you don't really get to do that often, What's your take on that?
It's tricky, and there's so much nuance in all the things, but I do think it's like be firm with the boundaries, and it's the same as regular parenting. Like if life jacket's the boundary, hey, just so you know, I'm not wavering on this. So if you want to go tubing, it's life jacket, or else you can stay on the boat and it's fine. Like it's your choice.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's my boundary, and again, they might still bitch and moan, and that's just part of parenting. But that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Well, it was the
me.
bitch and moan continuation. It's like, I know how to hold the line. They weren't going to switch what was happening in the moment. They weren't changing or pivoting our thought. I wasn't going to give in.
Totally.
But it made a little bit of the day more frustrating for me, where I just wanted to enjoy. And it felt like, we don't need this energy. We need you to snap out of it, you know?
Well, and then I can just picture it. You put her in the boat, you say, hey, this is the boundary. And then it's just incessant. And part of it is like, our kids are so damn stubborn. Some of, you know, it's like, they don't let it go. Yeah. They don't just go, okay, easily. Right. You know, like the amount of times I'll say, let it go. That's my boundary. Make your choice. Let it go. Is a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
And like, well, I guess part of it is too, just like not being embarrassed by whatever they do.
That's a good point. And something that I always need to talk to myself about, which is like, if every parent is going through something. It may not be that situation, but like it is what it is. Like Lily had a meltdown the other day at a pool, and it was like kind of embarrassing. But it's like every parent there has had to deal with that. And it is what it is. Like, just move on.
And I respect the mom who sits there and goes, that's my boundary. You decide how you're going to react. If you need a couple minutes to get upset, you know, you do that. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's just like, again, like no mom guilt. I feel like, I do feel like there's a culture of like, if your kids act poorly, it's a poor reflection on you as a mother. And it's so unfair. It's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know, and like
kids are going to be kids no matter what the situation is. Yeah.
Kids are going to be ungrateful because they can't comprehend the value of money at 6. Kids are going to push a boundary and get upset when you hold your boundary, even if it's, of course, good parenting. Like, so they're going to be upset. What can you do? I don't know. Yeah. My friend Courtney does something good. She just says, no, thank you. No, thank you. But she does it like in a calm way, which I've tried to like emulate. Like the no, thank you is like become like a real part of my.
Yeah, I like that too. I
like
use
mantra.
Well, I just think
like I try not to yell. Like I'm really not that I am successful all the time, but I really have a system where I say like, okay, you're approaching the consequence line, you know, and I just kind of keep my voice low, and I say, you know, hey, just so you know, like take a couple minutes, like take a beat, and then if it continues, hey, you're not listening, you're going up a level. You're at the consequence line. If you keep this up, this is going to be the consequence. And then I have to deliver on the consequence.
Well, that's the thing. That leads into the next thing, which is disciplining in front of other families or in public, which is, I'm talking about that situation. If you hold a consequence of like, you're done, we're not boating anymore, or, you know, you're not doing the raft, whatever, it ruins the experience for the rest of the people, which is like, it is going to be a battle on that boat if I didn't let her continue to tube. But that was what I would have done if it was just our family, which is like almost a timeout. You can earn it back. We do a lot of like, earn it back. You lost this, you can earn it back in the moment, but like you got to change. You cannot continue this behavior. And there I was just trying to, of course, chill. Nope. It's a rule. It's a rule. Not my rule. It's everyone's rule. Everyone here is doing it. Well, I just was kind of chill and laxed, but and just allowed her to continue to do the fun things. I didn't hold the line or I didn't even set the line, which is like, I didn't say you weren't going to be able to do this if you continue and then just let her do it. But I didn't in front of other people want to ruin the experience. So I was a little bit more laxed in the moment, which again, if it was just my family, I would have said, you're out on this. The others can go for a while and you are just out until we start changing the behavior. And I just felt a little like maybe I could have pushed harder in the moment to get her to pivot and get back on track. But I was like kind of embarrassed. I didn't want to ruin it for everybody else is more so the thing. Like
it reminds me a little of like the time to coach is not in the middle of the game.
Right. Yes. Right.
They're in the middle of the game. They make a mistake. It's not the time to be like, okay, go like this. Practice is the time to like really get into the mechanics and like how to do it. It's like the best coaches don't lose their mind in the middle of a game because they know they might be making notes for what to practice next time, but they take a longer term view on it. So I do think that's one thing. It probably wasn't the time to do that.
Well, we did have a long conversation on the ride home about it. It was like, look, how could you have done this differently? This is why we were frustrated.
What's the consequence? Maybe the consequence isn't you have to sit out of tubing. Maybe the consequence is something later.
Right. Well,
and then the conversation tees up later, everything just like, hey, you cross the consequence line. So, but again, what are the consequences? You take away screens, you take away treats, you put them in timeout, like all of the above.
Is it a little bit like a dog at a young age where it's like, if you don't give the consequence in the moment, it doesn't resonate in the same way?
If you don't push their nose in the shit, do they remember?
I know. And so I just tried to have a rational conversation. And again, they are getting older and that conversation is there where I feel like they're understanding a little bit more, So it's like, that's the best I could do. But I'm not alone. I was just wondering if anybody else deals with this and what you do in the moment in front of others with the holding the line when it can ruin the experience for other people. Some people just say I'm doing it and it ruined it for other people,
Yeah.
Like that's also the thing. There was a situation, this is different, but I had a friend who was having a birthday party overnight for her daughter. They're older. They do overnights. I'm not getting into that topic. But the point was one other girl who was supposed to go got in trouble and then they pulled that. You can't do that anymore. And it hurt the girl who was having the birthday party. She wanted to have her friend there. And then it was like, a little bit like, could you have done something else? Could it have been a penalty against a different time where it doesn't ruin it for the birthday girl? And you see the other side where the parents like, my daughter she didn't earn it. Like she can't do that. And so I kind of saw both sides there.
Totally.
It's the same thing. It's like, this happens in every situation, but what do you got to do what's best for your family. But I do feel in those moments when it affects somebody else.
Yeah. I don't know. Like my kids respond well to like a timeout. Like they know they're in trouble. It's a little bit of a shame spiral.
Yeah.
Hey, when we get home, you're going to sit for 5 minutes in timeout.
Yeah.
And almost it works better because it's like the temperature's cooled later and then I bring it up. But again, at a certain age, when they're younger, I don't think they're developed enough to like understand the consequence later or pay for their sins later. It's not as effective. Like that would never work with Lily.
Yeah. Oh, right. Too late, too young.
But I do think with the older kids, it's like, hey, just so you know, you cross the consequence line. We're going to talk about that later. And then again, what is it? It's either the loss of a privilege or you sit there and you are bored. But I don't know. I mean, and again, every kid's different. Like what discipline works with different kids? Like, I don't know if a timeout works for your kids, does it? Like it, or what works the best for yours?
Timeout does work in just take a beat. We do a lot of like go up to your rooms and be on your own for a little bit until you can
think about it chair.
Yeah, the think about it chair. Exactly. That was their preschool. But it's like recalibrate a little bit, just go take some time. And honestly, I do it even sometimes not as disciplined as like they don't even know that they just need space for a little bit.
Right.
And it in certain moments. Now, I do think that if they are, what were you calling it a couple podcasts ago, like orange or red, like when they're in a level that they can't rationalize and they're out, I do have a child that separation is not it. It's almost like sit in the moment with them. They don't have to talk, but you kind of like separation would make that worse. But for the most part, they need space in these situations to just go regroup. And then they come back a little calmer. That is what works for us for sure.
Well, they can't learn when they're in. Yeah, you're right. Like she called it back brain, but it's like the orange and red. It's like your emotions and all of it is like sitting back here. You actually cannot learn.
Yeah.
And like, what are we trying to do? But like teach our children what good looks like. Right. So it's like, if they're flooded, it ain't the time, and I don't know how extreme Lola got on this particular issue.
It wasn't that bad. It was just like, I wished that I could have regrouped it, because then I felt like she would have been more grateful in the moment. She would have had more fun, and we would have been able to have more fun from our side too. It wasn't that bad. It's just, it was a thought that came up because I was struggling with it this weekend a little bit.
I just think too, you cannot control them. Like, I say all the time, you get what you get with these kids and their personalities. Every kid's different. Some are easy, some are hard.
Yeah.
It's not the parent's fault if you have a difficult kid or an emotional kid or a sensitive kid or an anxious kid. It's like, you get what you get. And some of them, special needs factor in for a lot of families and like affect behavior in a bunch of ways. And it's like, to me, it's like, moms, quit taking it as a personal badge of honor if your kids are good. It still wasn't you. Or if they're bad, it's not your fault. Like, you can do best practices, but a lot of times you got to let them.
I think that's right. However, there is a wave of gentle parenting that has kind of like, people say like gone too far. And again, that is my opinion. But there is this, like, if you don't do any type of conversation or discipline and you just let it, you are so passive to the point where it's just like, oh, well, I don't want to upset them. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's no boundaries.
There's no boundary, and they'll continue to do it. So I do think it's slightly different.
It's like, those kids are assholes. Like later,
but that's what I'm saying is like, you do get what you get. But if you don't do something in the at all, or have a boundary set at all, and you're only trying to just appease, that's a huge issue for later on in life.
1,000,000%.
I don't know. Again, it's like everything's in the middle, right? But it's I'm trying to be more.
We should have a book called "The Right Answers in the Middle."
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
I know. I'm not going to get political here, but it's like, literally, name something in life where there isn't like a reasonable center spot, where it's not crazy here and it's not crazy here. It's like, how do you discipline kids? It's somewhere in the middle. You set a boundary, you try to hold it, you add some nuance. That's the best you can do. It's not going to work every time.
Well, and I think continuing to talk about it, which is like why I like the podcast, which is like, we're not alone. There's other people struggling. I might get a tip from you or a tip from somebody else. If I just talk about it, I realize already I'm not alone in the situation. It makes me feel better. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you ever, there's not one mom on the planet who hasn't had like a mortifying discipline in public.
Yeah.
I literally, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
The other one that embarrasses me is when they start fighting or kind of being rude to each other in public. And it's like, I know everyone's dealt with it, but that one somehow for me is like a little bit more closer to my shame spiral than like one kid acting goofy. Cause this is like all my kids acting insane,
Well,
and I think it's like
the fighting each other is just, it makes it, I don't know. It just makes the family dynamic feel not great in that moment. So you're a little bit more shame about it,
I know. And then you go up and you whisper in their ear, "That's it."
Well, that's it.
Get Batman voice.
Well, it's like, I said my most embarrassing experience was taking 3 kids to Target by myself, and they all went unhinged. I lost 2. It was just like the worst experience of my life. And I was just trying to be so chill.
You didn't set yourself up.
Of course not. Of course not. And of course, it's like, I shouldn't have done it. It's not all their fault. But like the moment of trying to get them out the door and still be chill in public was awful. It was just like, there was, like that rage that's like, this is awful. And it's like, oh, well, whatever. I set myself up for failure. As you say, it's not all their fault.
Okay. I want to talk about one other thing, which is like, we go on these trips and then they get exposed to new video games on the iPad.
Yeah. That's the third one today.
Shows or, this happens when our kids get together for sure.
Yep. Right. Thank you for introducing us to Minecraft.
Sincere apologies. I actually think games is a big one though, right? So like, I don't know. It really does test the, hey mom, they have this game. It looks pretty cool. Can I get it? And I always say the same thing, which is I haven't had a chance to research that one yet.
Yeah.
Give me a beat. We're not going to do it in the moment here. But like, I'll take a look. I'll like give it a look ski. But I
Yeah.
do feel like all the new games are coming and exposed to us in this specific facet. And then I go look and like some of them I vetoed, some of them I accept.
Well, and it's not just with seeing them from other friends too. We have this issue where it's just around travel. We've said it. We allow iPad a little bit more on travel
Yeah.
days. They get advertised in some of these. So if I'm okay with a particular game or app that we've gotten comfortable with, researched, and we've set up the parameters around it, they're still getting hit in some of these games with advertisements where it's like, this game, you get to play for 2 minutes and then you download now or whatever. And I am having a really hard time in those moments too, where it's like we held a boundary where it's like no new games. We're not doing it. We will research it when we have time. We will decide if it's safe. I'm not going to make this in real time decision.
Yeah.
However, it's just an ongoing battle. I mean, I said that 6 times on a 3-hour drive. Like, nope, nope on a rope, nope, nope, nope. You know,
I've never heard nope on a rope, but I like that.
I got it from a movie.
Anyways, here's what I'll say about games. I've had a chance, even since our last podcast, to like reflect on this a bit more. And I was trying to think about what is my boundary? You know what I mean? Like I'm about to introduce a Nintendo Switch. So like it's time to really harden up my conviction
Let's hear
on
it. I like it.
where I'm at. What I really despise with all the research that I've done about everything is like some of the innards of like, let's just take YouTube. But what do I hate about YouTube? What do I like about YouTube? What do I hate about YouTube? And stay with me here. It does come back to games.
Okay.
YouTube has some great long format videos, some that are educational, some that are teaching them how to draw, how to do gymnastics, some that are inspiring. There's good stuff on there. And I don't think all YouTube's bad in the same way I don't think all video games are bad. I play New York Times word puzzles. I love that. It's once a day. It wakes up my brain in a healthy way. It's a fun way to connect with our family. We all share our Wordle scores. I think that's actually like the best of a lot of things. It can happen.
I got to get on it. Side note, I'm not on that. Everybody, including our father, just got added. I might consider Wordle, but we'll see. Carry on.
But what I hate about YouTube is the same kind of like tenets of where my video game boundary is coming from, which is if the incentives are aligned for engagement / addiction, I don't love that.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids being advertised to about anything.
I agree.
I don't want it.
That would solve my issue. So let's go there after this.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. And I don't want anything that I feel like afterwards their behavior is worse. They're either getting exposed to stuff I don't like. And again, that could be violence. That could be I'm obsessed with beauty standards. That could be a bunch of stuff like on the content side. But if I don't like the behavior that I see after the usage, that's another like real territory of like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I like that.
So then go to the video games. A lot of the games, like let's take Roblox. Or let me add one more. If it's unsafe in any way, that should be like obvious. But like that's another like
meaning like people can reach out to your child or whatever. Is that what you mean by unsafe? Yeah.
You might get exposed to something unsafe, or someone might try to contact you in an unsafe way.
Yeah.
But that's obviously a hard boundary for me.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go to like a Roblox. Roblox is a sandbox game where anybody can make a new game within Roblox. There are 15,000 new games added every single day to Roblox. The way you make money is with Robux, and you make Robux if people stay on your game a long time, engagement, or if you can upsell them directly and they give you Robux directly in that kind of capacity. Okay. So we have poor incentive alignment for them to build a game that's healthy and good and moderate. Like, nope, that's not how the creators monetize. And so all creators are trying to grab your attention, do crazier and crazier things, and then create the most addictive game possible because that's how they make money. So bad incentive alignment on game structure and creation. Yeah. 2, insanely addictive. There's never an end to what new games you could encounter. Those kinds of like wide open sandbox games are, and there's a lot of like on the user experience side when you're designing these things, it checks every single box in terms of like addictive design. Okay. 3rd, safety. Roblox is like so clear on this, but it's like, even if you try to set an age limit and turn off chat, they could still be exposed. They cannot moderate all of these games with that many new ones hitting. So some of these games that have a mild label, the characters are having sex in them.
Oh my
Like you
gosh, yeah.
cannot take the safety to a level that I'm comfortable with.
So no on
anyways, it's like,
Roblox.
so no on Roblox. Like
Yeah.
that's a clear line
Makes
for
sense.
me.
Yeah.
That's my clear line. Minecraft. The creator mode of Minecraft, I'm okay with. The social side of Minecraft, I'm not okay with for all the same reasons. Sandbox game where anybody could build anything. You could be exposed to people. Even if you turn off chat, you can still be exposed to other players in there, and they could be doing God knows what. They could be kicking animals. They could be having sex. They could be doing anything. Like that open, like game as a service, this social gaming aspect of it introduces too much risk, in my opinion, for my own. And again, everybody's got to make their own choice of, maybe you just say no, you don't want to deal with it. Maybe you have a nuanced stance in the middle. Maybe you have a comfort level, and maybe you're more engaged than I am and you're watching them play or something. Like there's not one right answer here. This is just like where my boundary is after like really reflecting on it. I don't want addiction. I don't want ads. I don't want inappropriate content. So like Minecraft, creator mode, fine. Social mode, nope, not happening.
And you have found shutting down the social side is possible to the degree of safety. Like meaning Roblox, you can shut down the chat, but there's still
you can set it, and I have in Minecraft, where basically he can go into his own world and build stuff without exposure to other players. And that's the only place that I'm comfortable with. And he can't fight. He can only build stuff. So if it's just like a building house game, I can live with that. I don't think that's addictive. Okay. And the other thing on these games, on the iPad games in particular, which we've been exposed to, I look at Common Sense Media. I look at the age rating. I get in there and see what it's like myself. And like Grace had one where it sounded okay on the surface. It was like where you sing. She likes that game where you sing out loud, try to hit the notes, and then it gives you a score.
Yeah.
Like Sing On, you know, that show. Anyways. And she's singing out loud. It's kind of cute. And I was like, okay, maybe this is okay. But I got in there, and it has all these other people singing that you can watch, strangers.
And you can't shut that off. Yeah.
You can't shut it off. So I was like, somebody could be naked. Somebody could sing God only knows what lyrics. Like,
well, and
absolutely
just
not.
Social media feeling before we're ready, where it's like the same kind of like validation. Even
I don't want
like, even if
I
you
don't
take
want you, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Now I told her, let me look for a game that has that's not addictive. Because I like the singing part of that. I think that's cute. I'm sure I can find one if I really like put my head down and like look for a game that's like this.
Yeah. Right.
But that one, I was like, again, I didn't feel like it was safe.
Yeah.
I will pay to have no ads.
Yeah.
If a game crosses my threshold on the other dimensions, like when they were littler, I got them Pock Pock, and I still have Cal on Pock Pock. It's not addictive. It's cute. If he needs to just take his mind off something, he can do that, and I'll pay for it. Minecraft, I paid for Minecraft so that there's no ads. Yeah. He's only in creator mode. So again, like it kind of like checks those boxes. So anyways, that's where I'm at with it now. That's how I'm thinking about even these games. Like I'll buy a game that's a one-time game. That's an experience that I know about, and I will turn off all the social features. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I think it's it seems in the middle, like we were talking about. That's a balance, right? Yeah. But I just get furious that you have to go to those extremes for a kid app. There's nothing that annoys me more than this conversation, because you have the skill sets to do all of these things and know a little bit about it, right? Every parent can research, but you know, we've done a lot of research with Sage Parents. We've done a lot of stuff with the tech side of things, and you're still struggling with trying to figure out, yes or no. It is infuriating that you have to go to the level of research to do these things and to find your boundary for something that is designed for kids. And I will leave it at that. That can go down a huge rabbit hole, of which we don't need to do on this podcast. We could do it a different time. But I just get so frustrated that my brain goes to shut down. You're just not doing it, right? You're not going to do video games right now unless it is something that I'm completely comfortable with, like a PlayStation upstairs with a game that we know very well.
It's not social.
It's not social. And again, we don't have that issue right now a ton because it's not of interest. but that will be different to me a little bit. And you're not playing other people right now. Like, that's just not how it goes for me. And I just like get a little frustrated though, because it should be easy on those moments to be like, oh, you want to do Minecraft? Oh, that's cute. Okay, let's do it. And it's like, I do think that you and I think a lot alike. So I have a similar mindset already when we get to that point where it's like, yeah, I think I would be comfortable with the Minecraft part of the creator side too. I think I would be comfortable with this and that. And like there were 2 games that we found, paint by numbers, a version that wasn't too expensive, and another one, but we pay a little bit and we still have ads. So maybe that is something that's annoyed me that I haven't drawn a line in, but maybe I will. But it's like Lola really enjoys this. Ace really enjoys his like golf one that is relatively safe as far as all the other things you were saying. But they get ads and it's just games, but it's like, hey, I want this now. I want this now. I want this now. Can I download this? Can I download this? And there's nothing that takes me further up a level of like frustration than that conversation. Ugh.
Totally. And I actually do have like a product idea, not to like blueprint our roadmap, but there should be an easier way to say, set all my parental, these are my values, right? I don't want ads. I don't want addiction. I'm not comfortable with them chatting online with people. Boop, 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 like normal text. One click button, all the parental controls are set.
Yeah.
A game that your kid asks to approve, you say, run it by my values. Nope. You know what I mean? Where there could be some nuance in there. So anyways, I have some ideas about like how to make this easier for parents. I think there's more we could do. And I think we can't trust Apple, Google, certainly not Meta, certainly not YouTube to act in our best interest. So like this is to me where there's a great product idea, which is one-touch parental controls that you can set these normal language, you know. I'm not comfortable with strangers talking to my kids. Okay, cool. Let me do this.
What a dream.
Yeah. And to me, it's like, it's possible.
Yeah. I've talked to so many parents who have this exact issue. Parental controls are hard. They're loopholes. There are things. It's very frustrating. I had a friend say, I'll pour you a glass of wine if you come over and help me. You know, it's like,
I've had multiple friends. I've had multiple friends be like, I will pay you to come to my house and set this up the way that you have, since I know that you've thought about it more and studied it and like understand it more than I do.
Yeah. Right. A little side hustle for now.
To me, what speaks to business opportunity more than like that organic pull?
No, I know. All right.
Anyways,
well,
I think there's big opportunity there. But anyways, I just wanted to wrap up my thoughts on gaming. There we go.
I like it. It's a good topic. We should do a whole segment on it at some point, but I like where that's at, which is like find your boundary, whatever that is, stay within it, and do a bunch of research to, if you are comfortable, do a bunch of research to hold whatever boundary you set.
Well, we'll do a touch base. That's how I feel. It's like, this makes sense in my head. Let's go live the experience, and then let's see if it's working or not. That's like the ultimate test. So, okay, cool. Let's move to tech tip. I just want to keep it simple today, which is maybe along the lines that I just mentioned on YouTube with like, it's addictive. You can't control the content. There's a ton of ads, but it's like no social media in elementary school. Like it's actually a very hard line. Like I've done so much research on like, can you set parental controls on social media? Honest to goodness, no, you can't. It's too hard to moderate, or I'll be honest, none of the companies are incentivized to moderate it to the level that it's actually safe. There's so much porn on Instagram. There's so much porn on YouTube. Right. Even if you set no adult content, it creeps its way through there. So like absolutely no social media in elementary school. Now, some people might say elementary school, of course. What about middle school? And it's like, I've talked to parents all over the country about social media in middle school. And there are pockets where parents have banded together to say, wait until 8th or 9th, and there's no social media in middle school. And they have the parental collective action to execute that, to which I say, amazing, great job. I've also talked to communities where parents go, I feel nervous to make a big commitment where I don't know how I'm going to feel when they're in 7th grade. You know, they're in 4th grade or 5th grade now. Like I might feel different. Like I don't feel comfortable at least pledging anything. What I say to those groups is have a tech talk or get some mom friends together and just open up a conversation where you go, how are you thinking about it? how are you guys doing it?
Right.
See if you can find some norms that align on no social media for this year. Go year by year by year and say, I'm not comfortable with social media in 6th grade. Are you guys on the same page?
Yeah.
Because it would be a lot easier if we were aligned on this. Get collective action and go year by year if that's kind of the dynamic of your community.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're in a community where no one else is saying no, I have such empathy for this because we've seen bullying happen to the one kid who's not on it. But it's like, see if you can find at least one good friend that can help them hold that line. And that's the best you can do if you're in a community where everybody's got it. Because it's just impossible to do the parental controls and know that it's safe. So it takes such an activation level to like stay involved and let them have it in some small way. So I'll leave it there, but no social media in elementary school. And I would put a real asterisk next to YouTube and Pinterest.
Yep. No, I think that's right. And I think it's good advice to try to get others in your community to kind of band with you a little bit. And I do think that these wait till 8th groups across the country kind of help with that. You can find like-minded people to whatever degree it is. Maybe that one's too extreme for you, but there's a lot out there where I think there's a ton of activated parents around this. And our stuff coming out for Sage Parents in the next month about tech in schools kind of aligns with this too, of just like how to build a community of like-minded parents to have some social norms go a little bit like back to let's hold off further. So I think it's great. I think it's just continue to talk to your kid about it, continue to talk to your friends about it. And I like that. Hold the line.
And I will say our guidebook, sageparents.org, free guidebook. We've had so many people give us feedback like, hey, I was able to share that with my friends. And like we were aligned on like a lot in there. I think we tried to find that middle balance that a lot of people, it's like an easy yes, especially if your kids are under 13. It's like it's an easy yes to get alignment on a lot of things in that guidebook. So a lot of people have shared it with their friend groups. But anyways, check it out. It's free. We built it just based on all the things that we had learned as we got smart about this topic. So share it. Hopefully that's really helpful.
Yeah. And with this actual tech tip, I think that's good. I will link the guidebook on our notes as well, because I think that kind of goes with the whole thing.
Cool. What's your obsession this week? My
obsession is, no surprise, from one of my favorite stores, Target. But I is separate from Target. I have a Pura, which is a plug-in for scents in the house. Do you have this?
No.
It is controlled by my phone. You can have 2 scents in the plug-in, but it's supposed to replace candles and different things. And, with young kids around, I'm not lighting candles as much. So I have really enjoyed, and I have dogs. So I really like having these Pura plugins.
The toxicity? Like, is it clean? Is it non-toxic, or we don't know?
We probably need to do a little bit more research there, to be honest with you.
That's the one thing that's holding me back from something like that, is I just haven't researched it. And I wanted to, at one point when you mentioned it before, be like, I'm going to look into that. Is that like a...
Yeah, it's a good call out, to which I will say something else after this. But let me finish this part, which is they have scents now that they sell at Target through Threshold, and we can kind of look at the ingredients. However, they are not expensive. The ones you get online and you can do a subscription, or if you find the one-off Pura scents out there, they're very expensive and it's hard to kind of keep up with it. Okay. This new line of scents is affordable, and I'm really enjoying that. So I like that I can have more variety. I like that it's not very hard to get a few of these. They last a long time, and my house always smells good. Now,
that Threshold brand at Target's very good.
Very good. So I go there I just found out they had these scents, by the way, for this specific Pura. So it's a new thing. So cost-wise, it's great. It's amazing. They have new scents. Now, that does pivot me slightly, and we'll do another episode on this, which is how to get the toxins out of your house and chemicals. I just listened to a couple other podcasts on this topic, which is like switching your household things that you use all the time to make them non-chemicals, toxic. And I could do a better job. So I have already started to pivot a couple things in my house we'll talk about later. Okay. But I do think that I didn't even think about that with Pura, which is one of those, like, I could do a better job. So,
I'm not here on my high horse. Like, there's no toxins in my home. I just put Splenda in my coffee. Like, it's like you got to pick and choose. But I at least like to kind of think about that before But candles, I think, aren't great either for the same
No, there's
reason.
so much. Candles, scents.
And especially you got dogs, so I feel like the scent thing is even more
It's
important.
big. It's big for me. It kind of goes with just like a clean house. So anyways, I'll do more research on that, but that will be a topic for later because I could go down a rabbit hole here. What is your obsession this week?
I don't know if this will resonate widely because my husband's 6'8", I'm 6 foot, our kids are enormous, but they're starting to have growing pains. And I have such a visceral memory of being in elementary school with like my shins hurting, my hips hurting. Like I remember those fast growth years in a way that I'm like, ugh, shudder.
Yeah.
So Chris's cousin, who we were just with, recommended these new gummy vitamins called True Height Bone Growth Gummy Vitamins. And her husband's very tall. And anyways, we were just saying like her son was having these growing pains and they really like them. And my kids took them this weekend, love the taste, which I'm like, I don't want to fight with them about like a gross tasting supplement.
Right.
But I'm excited about maybe having something that might help as they navigate extreme growth years here in the next few years for both of them. So I'm trying this new gummy.
Okay. Well, let us know. We'll link it. I'll try it out, but let us know how it goes because it is a big thing I don't have as many core memories because I'm a lot shorter than you. But, my kids, my 2 older ones right now especially, are complaining of growing pains and it goes in waves, but it's happening. So.
Well, we'll see if this helps, but I at least feel like I was feeling ick about that. And so now at least I feel like I have a plan of action. Like hopefully this helps. So I feel good about that.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I like a plan.
I love it. Okay. Well, that's a wrap. We want you to follow us in all the places. This is usually your shtick, but follow us at Sage Parents. We have a Sage Sisters podcast, Instagram, as well as a Sage Haven for Kids. So we wanted to have a page for everything that we are doing. And also rate us. So on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you listen to our podcast, if you watch it on YouTube, please rate us. It helps us a ton. And we are getting more followers. I just got an alert that said we are in 25 countries now, which we'll see.
Ooh.
But we'll see the level of interest in all those countries. But the point is we're growing. So please rate us as we continue to grow. And thank you for listening.
Awesome. All right, Tana Ann. See you later.
Lilas.
Lilas.